Welcome to the Glendale Housing Authority meeting for October 1st, 2024. Being called to order at 3:04 p.m. May we have the roll call, please?
Yes, Housing Authority members Ajinian,
Here.
Asatarian,
Here.
Brotman,
Here.
Barpetian,
Here.
Najarian,
Here.
Barazian, Chair Kasakian.
Here. And may we have your report?
The agenda for the October 1st, 2024 regular meeting of the Glendale Housing Authority was posted on September 26, 2024 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Thank you. Next item is approval of minutes for the meeting held on joint meeting of September 17, 2024. And may we have motion to approve these minutes?
I'll move to approve.
Thank you. There's been,
I'll abstain.
okay, thank you. There's been a motion and a second, and Member Parazian will abstain from the minutes. Let's take a quick roll on the minutes.
Authority members Ajinian,
Yes.
Asadrian,
Yes.
Brotman,
Yes.
Barpetian,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Barazian, and Chair Kasakian.
Yes, thank you. Next is oral communication. Do we have any cards submitted?
We do have one card for oral communications. Discussion is limited to items not a part of this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. Members of the Housing Authority may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or decision. The matter may be referred to staff through the Executive Director for investigation and report. And our one public comment is by Herbert Milano.
Thank you very much. Chair of the Housing Authority, members of the City Council and the Housing Authority. My name is Herbert Milano. Oftentimes when activists come before you requesting relief with regard to housing, you are prompted and pressured into coming to some type of solution or suggestions to resolve a problem. I want to present a couple of areas that impact a lot of residents in the city of Glendale with regard to segments that are involuntary, things that come upon the tenant, and things that are kind of volitional, where the tenant themselves participated in the decision of their current situation. Let's take the first one. Unemployment as of July 31st for the County of Los Angeles is 6.5% and growing. So the trend for the last couple of months have been of increased unemployment. And if we just take that percentage and apply it to Glendale's working population, and if you were to go to the top of the building and look out to Glendale, you will see that roughly 3,000 to 4,000 dwellings will be impacted by a reduction in income, meaning individuals who are today currently looking for a job. And that translates for many families into maybe, a significant reduction in their income. If there are two individuals working, it could be 40, 20% of their income that they don't have available to pay rent. The question to the city council is that your role? Is that part of the values that you hold to be able to create some kind of safety net for all of these individuals that as a result of the economy itself wind up short of money and unable to pay the rent? That is not always the case for some individuals who save money, but it is a difficult situation for a lot of individuals. Should that be a role of the city council to take on this problem? A layoff doesn't necessarily turn into an eviction, but oftentimes it turns into a difficulty for the landlord if they're now being asked not to take action with regard to non-payment of rent or the not fulfillment of the full rent. If unemployment is an event that occurs to this tenant involuntarily, we have another problem, which are the problems that are somewhat voluntary. And I decided to take a look at one of those. It is the problem of fentanyl use. And I left for you a report of the information that I've been trying to obtain, not very successfully, with regard to what Glendale has been doing with regard to the increasing use of fentanyl and the impact that it has. You can imagine that it's going to have a severe impact in their behavior and household problems. Conflict between husband and wife, conflict between parents and children, additional cost on the events that occur as a result of the use of fentanyl, and for many of those individuals, very likely the loss of a job as they become unable to maintain their attendance or able to perform well. And in addition to other medical problems that prevents these individuals from sustaining a job effectively, eventually those problems of fentanyl will turn into a problem of insufficient income, which turns into non-payment of rent, which becomes then a burden on the landlord. And it's not just 1 month, it's multiple months that we actually have to sustain it. So in a way, we have a structure where society has basically placed this obligation, not directly, but indirectly, so that we now are bearing the cost of individuals who are on fentanyl or unemployed. And then if the council decides that you're going to support the legal fees of these individuals, where they can extend those months additionally, you're in effect loading and offloading that financial situation onto landlords. 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and sometimes they can extend it up to a year. So what is the solution to this if it is in your interest to do something about it? So at the end of this listing, I made a suggestion that maybe the city might consider some type of insurance to the unemployed at least, right? So they're covered for several number of months. It's not the full topic of my conversation here, but I just wanted to make the council aware that the current situation is that we are creating a burden which in fact will impact in the future what we decide with regard to rents. If we have to maintain individuals on our backs due to the loss of a job, the only pressure is up with regard to the future rents that we establish. This food for thought. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Milano. With that, since there's no items on the business agenda, I will ask if there's any authority member or staff comments.
None from me.
Okay, seeing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Rolling over? You just do it.
All right, let's call the afternoon meeting, the joint meeting of the Glendale City Council and the Housing Authority to order. Madam Mayor, would you like to take roll call for the housing?
Council members Brotman,
Here.
Garpetian,
Here.
Kasakian,
Here.
Najarian.
Here.
Mayor Asatryan.
And now let's have a roll call for the Housing Authority.
Housing Authority members Zajinian,
Here.
Asatryan.
Here.
Brotman,
Here.
Garpetian,
Here.
Najarian,
Here.
Parazian,
Here.
Chair Kasakian.
Here, may we have your report?
The agenda for the Tuesday, October 1st, 2024 joint public meeting of the City Council and Housing Authority was posted on September 26, 2024 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Thank you, and now let's have the item read into the record.
Yes, item number 1, Community Services and Parks regarding fiscal year 2024-2025, 2023-2024, 2022-2023 Annual Action Plan, Substantial Amendment for Community Development Block Grant, Emergency Solutions Grant, and Home Investment Partnership Act to reprogram $724,949.63 in return and undesignated fund balance to city-specific splash pad project, Home Management Glendale IRAD Roofing Project, and YMCA of Glendale All-Inclusive Locker Room Project. A council motion to 1, approve reprogramming returned and undesignated CDBG funds totaling $724,949.63 to City of Glendale Pacific Splash Pad, Home Management Glendale IRAD Roofing, and YMCA of Glendale All-Inclusive Locker Room Projects. 2, authorize the city manager or designee to execute all agreements, amendments, certifications, and documents necessary to carry out the reprogramming of funds. 3, authorize submission to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development of a substantial amendment to the fiscal year 2024-2025 2023-2024 and fiscal year 2022-2023 CDBG, ESG, and home annual action plans regarding the reprogramming of funds. And 4, authorize the city manager or designate to redirect excess, canceled, or unused program funds under $50,000 among projects with CDBG Advisory Committee approval. A, Housing Authority motion to authorize submission to HUD of a substantial amendment to the fiscal year 2024-2025, 2023-2024, and 2022-2023 CDBG, ESG, and home annual action plans regarding the reprogramming of returned and undesignated CDBG funds totaling $724,949.63 to City of Glendale Pacific Splash Pad, Home Minuteman Glendale Irod Roofing, and YMCA of Glendale All-Inclusive Locker Room Projects. B, Council Resolution of Appropriation to appropriate returned and undesignated CDBG funds totaling $724,949.63.
All right, thank you. Marion, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mayor Asatrian, members of the City Council, members of the Housing Authority. I'm Maggie Kavarian, Community Services Manager, overseeing the CDBG section, and I'm here to present to you why we need our substantial amendments approved this afternoon. And it'll be a quick slide presentation. Basically, we had about $725,000 left undesignated and returned. We had a balance of $254,000 that was undesignated from previous year funds as well as for 24-25 funds. Along with that, we had 2 agencies that returned their capital improvement project funds, that's Boy Scouts, as well as the YWCA of Glendale, bringing that total up to $724,000. So with that said, in June, staff had sent out a notice, a letter of intent to community agencies and that met a certain criteria. And that criteria to receive these funds, these capital improvement project funds, were they had to have an open general contractor estimate, a very recent one, or they were currently in construction and were able to spend additional funds to complete this project because this money has to move through the system pretty quickly. Through outreach and response, we had 4 community agencies that met this criteria. They were notified, and 3 of them submitted a letter of intent, and they were Door of Hope for their DV Transitional Housing Expansion Phase 1 project, Home Minuteman Glendale R Roofing Project, and YMCA of Glendale All-Inclusive Locker Room Project. Catholic Charities of Los Angeles chose not to seek additional funds. Now, Door of Hope did request funding, but they withdrew from consideration days prior to our CDBG Advisory Committee meeting because they are working with the Housing Division to meet the goal of that project that they're going to be working on. So with that said, we had the following requests that were received. Home Minuteman had asked for $351,000 for their roofing project. At the time, they were still in construction. They had a lot of change orders, as well as YMCA of Glendale, who requested $314,000, same issues and concerns. They had over 26 change orders. So total request was about $665,000. This left an excess of $59,000 on the table the day of the CDBG Advisory Committee meeting. So therefore, staff had recommended that those excess funds be reprogrammed to the city's Pacific Park Splash Pad project, which is also in construction and could expedite those funds just like the other 2 from the community agencies. So that being said, the CDBG Advisory Committee made the following recommendations, as you see in slide 5, which totals that $725,000. Therefore, we are here to ask you to please approve the substantial amendments so we can submit those to HUD and move the funds along. That concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Questions?
I don't.
Any comments?
I'll just say that I had the opportunity to go to the locker room opening. I do have to say that I was not only extremely pleasantly surprised, but also gave us an opportunity to learn about all the other equipment within the YMCA that serves the people with disabilities, including their gym that I had no idea about. We actually had a roundtable with the groups that came to the city council that have programming for people with disabilities yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I'm looking forward to both helping Home Management and YMCA in their endeavors, and splash pads are always a great idea to support.
Yes, Member
Yes,
Jinian.
on slide 5, the third projected figure, 59,130. Why is it so low in comparison to the others?
Give me 1 second. I'll be more than happy to share that, Mr. Ajemian.
That's the end you're looking at. Go to, on my handouts, it's 5. Where you have the 3 figures. Yeah, right there.
And your question again, sir?
Yeah, why is the third figure, 59,130, so significantly low as in comparison to the other two?
Oh, okay. Well, if you look at slide 4,
Uh-huh.
the requests that came in from the community agencies were 665,819.
Uh-huh.
We had 724,000 to reprogram.
So
With-
it's an excess figure.
It's an excess figure because
Okay.
Door of Hope decided to withdraw
Oh.
from consideration.
That answers my question. Thank you.
I have a comment.
Yes.
I
Director
wanted to thank Ms. Kovarenko for her just detailed report. Thank you for that. And I want to thank the CDBG Advisory Committee. They're doing the job. They're putting the efforts and time they're putting for Glendale community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Member Brazilian.
Uh,
Councilmember Brotman.
I was preparing to move 1A and C for council. If there are no other comments, I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, may we have a roll call on the motion and resolution for council?
Council members Brotman,
Yes.
Garpetian,
Yes.
Kasakian,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Mayor Asatryan.
Yes.
All right, thank you. And then we also have, I believe, is there required action for the Housing Authority? Yes. 1B is the Housing Authority motion. May we have someone make a motion and a second for that?
Well, okay.
Go ahead.
I'll move 1B for housing.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion was made for the Housing Authority by members Brotman and seconded by Asatryan. May we have roll call, please?
Yes, Housing Authority members Ajinian,
Yes.
Asadrian,
Yes.
Brotman,
Yes.
Garpetian,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Parazian,
Yes.
Chair Kasakian.
Yes, thank you very much. And that concludes the business before this joint body. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn
I'll move to adjourn.
for council. We are adjourned. May we have, that was moved by Councilmember Asatryan, seconded by Garpetian. And we'd like to have a motion and a second to adjourn for Housing Authority.
Okay, move to adjourn for housing.
Second.
Okay, thank you. We are adjourned.
All right. Are we just rolling over? All right.
Good with running this, please?
Huh?
Are you good with this?
You want to just do it? Just do it.
Okay, let's call the city council. Sorry, I'm acting as mayor pro tem. The mayor is not feeling well and may not be able to participate in this evening's meetings. We appreciate her being here for now. Let's call the council meeting to order and have a roll call, please.
Council members Brotman,
Here.
Garpetian,
Here.
Kasakian,
Here.
Najarian, Mayor Asatryan.
Here.
Thank you. Will you please read the items before us for closed session?
Yes, closed session item A, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, initiation of litigation pursuant to paragraph 4 of subdivision D of Government Code Section 54956.9, 2 potential cases. B, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Najarian versus City of Glendale, LASD case number 24STCP02101, claim of Najarian number 25-0009. C, conference with real property negotiators, city designated negotiators, Rubik Golanian, John Takhlanian, Ornik Bulanikian, Michael J. Garcia, Jillian Van Meiden, Michelle Flynn, Bradley Calvert, and Mark Berry. Property location 440 and 444 West Cypress Street, 1275, 1291 through 1295, and 1295A Los Angeles Street, and 448 Fernando Court. Negotiating parties, CDP Los Angeles LLC. Instructions to the negotiators will concern the price and terms of payment for the acquisition of property. D, conference with real property negotiators, city designated negotiator Bradley Calvert, negotiating party Eric Jojoyan, property 1401 North Verdugo Road. Instructions to the negotiators will concern the price and terms of payment for the lease of city-owned property.
All right, do we anticipate reporting out on any of these items?
We do not, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
With that, we will recess to closed session.
So you're not coming tonight, or you're if you're not coming, let me know about